Thank you, Benoit. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for choosing to be here tonight. It's a pleasure. Merci beaucoup d'être venu. We're excited to share our dance with you and our love for this dance. My name is Sasha Suslina, and it's a little bit overwhelming to think about it, but I've been dancing for over 20 years so far, and I'm mostly trained in ballet, contemporary dance, modern dance, and the things like that.
Hello, my name is Jackson. I have been doing street dance for over 14 years. I started with breaking and also do locking and a little bit of house and then learning crump. But we're gonna do something else today for you. But before we get started, can I get everyone to stand up and shake a little bit? Yeah? We kind of just experience so much, taking in all the information. It makes us feel all these different things, and all the emotions, feelings get stored in our bodies, so we want to shake it out, yeah? All right, when you think you have enough shaking, you can go ahead and take a seat. Yeah, because you know, when a dog or a deer is about to get hit by a car, after that, you know, it's like a state of trauma, they shake it off, yeah? So it's really a biological response, and that actually does help us a lot with that. So, what we're gonna do is a dance called Hustle. It is a dance created by, actually, has anybody heard of the Hustle? I'll be really impressed if you have. So it's actually not that hustle, yeah? So that's actually a misrepresentation of the actual dance. The dance was created by gangsters in the South Bronx in New York back in the 70s. It was created by a bunch of Puerto Rican teenagers who really just, instead of like shooting and killing each other, they just want to dance, yeah? So it's a dance that kind of started getting the gangs to take off their gang colors in the South Bronx in the 70s. And so it's a street dance, so we'll show you a little bit of what it looks like. But before we get started, it is going to be a street dance, yeah? So if you have been to a street dance before, performance before, if you see something you like, make some noise, yeah? You can cheer, you can give us energy. The more you give us, the more we give back. We call that renewable energy. Yeah, you see something you like, make some noise. You see something you don't like, write it on the back of the $20 bill, give it to us after the performance. We'll take it out, yeah? All right, we can go ahead and get started. First person. So it looks a bit different than what it used to be. Yeah, so back in the day, it was a lot of gangsters coming together that just want to release, they just want to have fun. They did that in the clubs. They danced really fast, which is why it's called the hustle. Yeah. But nowadays we play with it much more, and also because it means a little bit something different for us now. Yeah. So, especially coming into sustainability. Yeah. I've actually worked as the arts and media coordinator for Sunrise Movement in Los Angeles, Climate Reality Project Los Angeles. I was the sustainability coordinator for a bunch of film sets for Netflix and Apple, and also the education ambassador for Oceanic Global, like a whole bunch of sustainability stuff. And the reason why I come back to Hustle, yeah, for this kind of showcase here, it's kind of like touching on something the previous panel touched on, was mental health. Yeah. So there was a time when I had the privilege to be bored. Wow, oblivious to the state of the world, and then the biggest stressor in my life was like how to talk to pretty girls at school. And I was learning to dance, how to get out of our shells, and we were making dance videos for the grand mission of making ourselves look cool. Yeah. And then I learned about the state of the world. And I haven't been bored since. So, there's so many problems in the world, wow. And the thing is, like, the solutions are so complex, and sometimes when you take a step back, it's also so simple. In my experience in being in the sustainability space is also seeing that there's a consistent routine cycle of burnout. Because the solutions can be so clear, but it's the trouble of actually doing it. Yeah, so a lot of either as academics, people within government and so on, they constantly see it, that the solutions, that what we need to do is so clear, but it's the trouble of actually doing it. And that gets people burned out. So I find it, is it ironic or a great metaphor that in a sustainability movement, it feels kind of unsustainable because people keep leaving. We saw the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals earlier. There's 17 goals and none of them focus on mental health. So how can we make a sustainability movement sustainable? A lot of indigenous cultures guide us to being good relationships with nature. Yeah, and because when we're one with nature, we naturally, we don't need a sustainability department. Everything is naturally sustainable. But in order to have a good relationship with nature, we also need to be in good relations with those among us, and also with ourselves through our own bodies.
And with that being said, let's talk a little bit about how hustle, this dance that we just demonstrated to you, can be helpful in building this good relationship with ourselves and with other people. Hustle, as many other partner dance forms, is heavily based on connection. It is not about demonstrating some fancy moves, or like showing how athletic and cool you are. It is actually about finding the flow with this particular person at this particular moment and connecting with them on a non-verbal level. Kind of like that, And the beautiful thing is that no dance is the same, because it definitely feels different dancing with different people, but even with the same person, because Jackson today is different from Jackson a month ago, or even like a year ago, and same for me. So it's so grounding to always come back to here and now, to authentically connect with another human in a non-verbal way and be present with them and meet them where they are today. And another thing is, when it comes to connection, something that has become very foreign to us is touch. Like, for example, if I asked you right now to touch a person next to you, like, okay, if you know this person, but if you don't, maybe some people will be like, this is awkward, this is weird, I don't want to do it, right? And it's okay, and today we have so many very valid reasons to not wanting to touch or to be touched by other people. Yet, as humans, we are wired to touch each other. Biologically, it balances our body, it helps us feel safe and supported and secure. Like, for example, okay, let's dance again, Jackson. Now we're dancing, and I feel the connection, and I feel that we're in a conversation with him, and I feel supported, and I feel safe. And if I want to, I can even be like, ooh, you know? Because I know that he will hold me, because I feel the connection, I feel that he is here. And it is so healing, especially, you know, if you have some trust issues. Like doing dances like this, it really heals, and it's some sort of a magic, to be honest. And another fun fact about physical connection and touch is that it actually brings us back together after fights. So next time you fight with your significant other or your family member or your friend or whoever else, try to, I don't know, hold your hands, or I don't know, maybe give this person a hug, or do some hustle if you know, or if you will learn it. And see, maybe there's going to be a change. Maybe you will be very surprised about that. And this is a good explanation why gangsters back in the 70s created this dance, because they wanted to stop violence and to bring peace to their communities. And even though we are not in the 70s anymore, the urge to bring peace and to stop violence is extremely urgent. A year ago, my country invaded Ukraine. Yes, I am from Russia. And it really devastated everything I believed in. It devastated all my beliefs and all my faith in humans. I was basically paralyzed. And after suffocating from shame and guilt and overwhelming Russophobia and fear of persecution from my own homeland at the same time, so like, where is my place? I felt so disconnected. And I just really wanted to break this circle, and the solution that I found is to go back to a dance session, to go back and dance with my friends. Jackson was there at this session when I got back to dancing after feeling just isolated. And I can say with confidence that it is a very healing and powerful dance. Because when you dance, nobody asks you where your accent is coming from, or whether you support your government or not, and so what's your immigration status now. Nobody asks you these questions because it's a different type of communication, the one that connects us simply based on our humanity, because again, we are wired to connect with each other through touch.
Yeah, yeah, so Sasha shares something that's very vulnerable, yeah, so that's kind of feeding in terms of how physical activity kind of connects then to our mental well-being. And how I connect with it from the sustainability world is also seeing the burnout from academics, from young activists, from people working in government, from parents. Because when you know firsthand, you're working in the field, seeing firsthand how dire the situation is, and yet how little is being done about it. Like, you know what needs to be done, but you can't do it, right? How that affects people, and it paralyzes people. It doesn't make people want to act anymore. It makes them want to quit. And so that's when I saw this epiphany. That was a connection with street culture, with street dance and all these art forms. They were literally created by marginalized communities who first felt firsthand being neglected by society and feeling the societal collapse and needing to earn hope, to build the communities for the support system that we need, and also to release all these emotions. And so, I find it really interesting that this dance kind of reconnects our mind-body connection that we're so conditioned to ignore. That this hustle culture that we're part of tells us it's okay to ignore that. And that we also have this larger planetary body that we've been ignoring because capitalist values tell us it's okay to destroy it. And I think it's so ironic, or also a great metaphor, that we found this connection back through a dance called the hustle. And so the next song we're going to dance to is called How Does a Moment Last Forever? It's a question, right? So it kind of made me think about past, present, and future. These dances came from moments in time when gangsters were dancing each other, queer people were risking their lives going out to clubs to dance, and women were leading men for the first time in public, and a lot of these people have left us, but these dances are still so powerful. So how is it that they left this legacy that is still lasting today? And for today, the climate movement and the sustainability topic, these aren't new. The positions and conversations might be new, but what we need to be doing has never been new. And also, the Exxon Mobil scientists knew about climate change and that we're heating the planet since like over 40 years ago. So how is it that we feel like we're still in this fight? How is it that this is still lasting forever? So shout out to all those who've been in the movement for decades. Thank you all. And today, it's about how we can make these connections last forever. What we're building today, what we experience today, these gatherings, these celebrations. How can we make the sustainability movement sustainable? How does a moment last forever?
A story never die. It is love we must hold on to. Never easy, but we try. Sometimes our happiness is captured. Somehow our time and place stands still. Love lives on inside our hearts and always will. Minutes turn to hours, days to years, then gone. But when all else has been forgotten, still our song lives on. Maybe some moments weren't so perfect, maybe some moments not so sweet, but we have to know some bad times or our lives are incomplete. And then when the shadows overtake us, just when we feel all hope is gone, we'll hear our song and know once more our love lives on. How does a moment last forever? How does our happiness endure through the darkest of our troubles? Love is beauty, love is pure. Love pays no mind to desolation. It flows like a river to the soul, protects, perceives, and perseveres, and makes us whole. Minutes turn to hours, days to years, and gone. But when all else has been forgotten, still
Thank you.